This past Sunday, we saw arguably the most dominant performance in a World Cup final in history. We saw Spain absolutely dominate Argentina throughout the entire 120 minutes, limiting them to 0 shots on target the entire game. Spain was dominant throughout the entire World Cup, where they only allowed 1 goal. But is this Spain dominance enough to warrant Rodri, Spain's team captain, to win the Golden Ball, the best player of the tournament award, in the 2026 World Cup? The Golden Ball is an individual award given to the best player of the World Cup, and not necessarily the most impactful player of the tournament on the best team. So for example, from 1998 to 2018, no winner actually won the award. The award was given to either a second place player or a player who lost in the semifinals. And this is really interesting because in the 2026 World Cup, we saw arguably 2 of the most historically impressive World Cup runs. One being 39-year-old Lionel Messi, who dragged this Argentina team from improbable comeback after improbable comeback throughout the tournament. And then on to Kylian Mbappé, who he got 10 goals in this tournament, the first time done so since Gerd Muller back in 1970, over 55 years ago. And he even broke the all-time scoring record along with Messi, both passing Miroslav Klose's previous accomplishment. 2 incredibly compelling arguments for the Golden Ball award, but ultimately ended up empty-handed. Before we talk about who really deserved the award, let's take a look on how the decision is made. To start, we need to first look at the TSG, the Technical Study Group. This organization within FIFA of former players, analysts, and coaches decide a shortlist on what players are able to win the Golden Ball. They break this down into 4 main points. These key factors include overall quality, overall influence, consistency throughout the tournament, and match-defining performances. After the short list of players is decided by the TSG, then it goes out to the accredited members of media in the final week of the World Cup, meaning the people who are voting decide on the award prior to the 3rd place match and prior to the final. And accredited members of the media could include journalists, players, coaches, anyone who's really around the game, even photographers. So these people will vote in a tiered system, with their first place vote getting 5 points and their second place vote getting 3 points. And after it's all said and done and all the votes are counted in, the player with the most votes is the Golden Ball winner, the player with the second most points is a Silver Ball winner, and the player with the third most points is the Bronze Ball winner. And that's how we get to the Golden Ball winner. I'm going to break down my player cases into 4 players. The 4 players I believe had the best opportunity to win the Golden Ball. Starting with number 4, who isn't officially ranked. Jude Bellingham makes an incredibly strong argument for the Golden Ball award at the 2026 World Cup. He made history by becoming the first midfielder to score 7 goals in any rendition of the tournament, officially making him the highest scoring midfielder in any edit of the World Cup. And let's talk about overall influence throughout the tournament. In my opinion, he was the most influential English player alongside Harry Kane, but I believe some of his match-defining performances really just push him over the edge. To start, Jude Bellingham would score the winner against Panama, would score the winner against Croatia, he would score the winner against Norway, as well as getting a brace in that match after they were down 1-0. Against Mexico, he would also score 2 goals in the Azteca, and you could really see how much passion he had throughout the game, as he would barely be able to stand at the end of the match, just collapsing to the ground. And as for quality, we just saw him throughout the entire tournament. He was just incredible the whole time, in my opinion, being England's best player. But now onto consistency. Jude Bellingham did disappear in a few matches. He didn't play great against Ghana, as Ghana had the incredibly low block against them. He didn't do anything really against Congo, as Harry Kane really came to the rescue there. And against Argentina, whether that be for tactics or whether that be for his own quality, he wasn't great. However, he still came in huge to solidify England's 3rd place game and give England their best result in a World Cup since 1966. So, for me, Jude Bellingham is an incredibly strong argument for the Golden Ball. However, I don't think he does enough to really break the top 3 in the argument. Now, onto Kylian Mbappé, who ranked 3rd in the Golden Ball race, receiving the Bronze Ball in the process. Kylian Mbappé arguably had the greatest World Cup in history, getting 14 goals and assists, scoring 10 goals in the tournament, where the last player to do so was Gerd Muller, like I said previously, over 55 years ago. I feel like I can't state that enough. That is insane. Like, my mom isn't even 55. Like, that's absurd. Like, Jesus. But to continue this, Mbappé would have an incredible tournament, and he would be so influential for this France's team. He would be a part of 70% of the 20 goals France would score in the tournament, if that being through goal or assist. That's an insane stat. The only other player that ties him actually is Norway's Erling Haaland, who got 7 goals in 10 matches. But now let's break down his influence into each match. Mbappé would start off the tournament by getting a brace against Senegal. He would get a brace against Iraq. He would get 2 assists against Norway, as Ousmane Dembélé would get a hat-trick. And as for match-defining performances, Mbappé would really step up when it mattered most in the knockout stages. In the round of 32, he would get a brace against Sweden, driving France to a 3-0 victory in that match. Against Paraguay, a scrappy Paraguay team that beat Germany the round before, he would step up and score the winning penalty. And against Morocco, he would do the Messi special: win a penalty, miss it, get a goal, a pretty good goal at that, and get an incredible assist with incredible link-up play with Ousmane Dembélé. Mbappé would not show up against Spain, but Spain only conceded 1 goal throughout the tournament, and I would like to talk about Spain more when I get to Rodri. But then in the 3rd place match, France would fall short to England, but Mbappé would try to trailblaze a comeback, getting 2 goals and an assist in a 6-4 match. An incredible tournament, and in any other rendition of the World Cup, I believe Mbappé would have gotten the Golden Ball. His stats were just too good, and his stats weren't empty stats. His stats were from incredible play and incredible link-up, and just being the focal point of this France team and being the blueprint. But with that said, I'm going to go on to our next player, who came 2nd in the Golden Ball ranking. Now onto the man that most people thought would have won the award, Lionel Messi. Messi would have a stellar tournament at age 39 in this 2026 World Cup. And Messi would drag this Argentina team from, I don't even know what their floor would have been without Messi, because it's just really hard to tell. They have great players, but Messi just did so much, because when Argentina needed an opportunity, needed a chance, needed life, Messi would be there and give it to them. To start with the group stages in his influence, Messi would get a hat-trick against Algeria, get a brace against Austria, and get 1 goal against Jordan with 30 minutes played. Just an incredible way to start the tournament, having 6 goals, more goals than some players have ever scored in 4 World Cups, let alone 1. And then now let's break it down into the match-defining performances, started with the match against Cape Verde. Argentina would take the lead 1-0, obviously it being Messi. And then Cape Verde would tie it once, and then Argentina would take the lead again in extra time, and Cape Verde would do it again, tying with arguably the best goal scored in the tournament. But then, in the dying embers of the match, Messi steps up for a corner kick, and he would cross it in so well that the Cape Verde player would be attacking his own goal. Messi would force an own goal, unfortunately, for Cape Verde, and Argentina would go through and sneak past them and face Egypt. Egypt would take the lead 2-0, and then in minute 79, Messi would get the assist for the first goal, and then 4 minutes later, Messi would equalize the match, capsizing the game completely and killing any momentum that Egypt previously had. Now onto the match where Messi, I believe, had the greatest impact and really showed how he can control a match, not necessarily with scoring, but also with assists. England would take the lead 1-0 with an Anthony Gordon goal from a Morgan Rogers cross. But Argentina would just attack after England decided to sit back and defend. And in around minute 84, Argentina would get a corner kick. Messi would take it short, get a pass back, find Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez would get a brilliant goal, and we're giving Messi a relatively empty assist. He didn't do much, but Enzo scored a great goal, and the game was just different, and England continued to defend. And on the right-hand side, Messi's favorite right-wing position, Messi would get the ball, cut it in, out, down the line on his right foot, give a chip across into the head of Lautaro Martinez, who would take the lead for Argentina, making the game 2-1. As for consistency, Messi would show up in every match apart from the final against Spain. And like I said, similarly to the Mbappé situation, I'm going to talk about Spain onto my next player, Rodri. And to conclude this video, let's talk about the player who won the Golden Ball. Rodri would be the most impactful player for the Spanish national team, but not necessarily warrant the Golden Ball in my opinion. And to start my criticisms, I want to say that Rodri's an incredible player, was incredibly influential in Man City's 2023 treble win, Spain's 2024 Euro, and this World Cup as well. One of the best midfielders of all time. However, to me, Spain would win go unbeaten in 50 plus matches, not losing a match in 120 minutes since Colombia in 2024. This is absurd. And after the 2024 Euros, you have to remember that Rodri tore his ACL and wasn't a part of the Spanish team for around a year or so. And in this time, Spain would still be unbeaten and win against France, but only lose to Portugal in penalties. And this is really important in my opinion because it just shows how important De La Fuente is as a coach and how he was able to foster this group of players to be incredibly compact and together as a team. Following the philosophy, as also De La Fuente had many of these players at youth levels as they won the World Cup at the youth level as well. But now continuing on to this tournament, Rodri would definitely show his impact against teams like France. And then against France, he would set the tempo, and he would set the tempo throughout the tournament, but I want to specifically pick on France. Spain would beat France 5-4 in the Nations League, an incredibly chaotic match where France was almost able to come back. However, against France in this tournament, Spain really gave France no opportunities, no chances, and was just more together in this rendition, where Rodri was that impactful player that was the main piece that changed that. And I could agree with that. I understand that. However, when it comes to match-defining performances, do you consider that specifically match-defining in games where players don't score? So let me pick on Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino would come in and score goals against Belgium and to Portugal to give Spain in the lead and get them through in added time or in the dying embers of a match. If Merino doesn't do this, Spain doesn't go through, and Rodri probably wouldn't get the golden ball. You can't say the same for players like Jude Bellingham, Lionel Messi, and Kylian Mbappé, who effectively at points in matches willed their teams through the game to get to the next round. And to me, Rodri is an incredible player, the most impactful player on Spain. But in the 2024 Euros, a lot of the reason why he won the golden ball was because there were no standout players, with many players being tied with 3 goals in that tournament. And Rodri just happened to be the most consistent player and the best player for Spain, and that was enough for him to get the award in the 2024 Euros. But I feel like in the 2026 World Cup, there's too many historic campaigns that shouldn't be ignored. Overall, Rodri's an incredible player. Spain were the best team in the tournament, but I think that's what the focus should be on. And Rodri winning the golden ball takes away from Spain being the best team in the tournament a little bit, and takes away from players like Mbappé and Messi, who had objectively incredible tournaments. With that said, I'm going to conclude my video now, and please leave down in the comments below if I'm missing any nuance on the award or any nuance in Rodri's gameplay that I'm necessarily not picking up on. To me, and at the end of the day, this is an award voted by the media. This is an award that is voted for by many people, and many people could have different opinions. My opinion would be that Messi and Mbappe had incredible individual performances and deserved the golden ball, and I would even put Rodri in my ranking if I was one of the people voting. However, there probably were a significant amount of people that either put Rodri in first or second place in him getting a lot of points. So that's why I also do understand it's not one person's decision and all be all, you know? But with that said, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. I'm going to be making more footy videos as time goes on, maybe talking about the transfer window and the upcoming seasons. But thank you guys, and that's it for Los FC today. See you, boys.